Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Harmony. I'm a twin flame expert helping twin flames around the globe face fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Welcome today. I have Tatiana Hassan with me that has brought me to this beautiful, beautiful sacred lagoon. There is so much energy here, and I wanted to share this with y'all. There's a whole huge story behind it, and I'm going to let Tatiana tell us the story.
So, hi everyone. So the story of this lagoon, this is called the Guatavita Lagoon, or the lagoon of the Cacique Guatavita in Colombia, South America. So we are close to Bogota, Colombia, to the capital city. And this used to be, it still is a sacred lagoon that has gone through many traumas as a lagoon as well. And the story behind it is what originated the legend of Eldorado, or the legend of the golden, the golden legend,
Golden City.
or the golden city will be called too. So basically, here is where the leader of the native tribes, that is like thousands of years old, that had this wisdom, would become a leader. And the whole story behind it is all about the balance and the mastery of self. So for twins, I think this is really, really important to understand this, because they knew it in a certain way, the absolute perfect balance between masculine and feminine energies. So the leader before had a preparation since he was a child. So he would have to spend 9 years. First, in his childhood, he would be raised by his mother to learn all the feminine aspects, and then raised by his father to learn all the masculine tasks and aspects. And then when he was 14, he would spend 9 years representing the 9 months before birth in a cave, preparing spiritually. So mentally, to be strong and to be centered and balanced. Then in the heart, to be compassionate and giving and with other people, with others. And then in his solar plexus and lower chakras, to control the urge for lower sexual needs, basically. So he spent all those years in meditation and could not have visits from anybody else than men that were elders in the tribe. And at the same time, the elders had chosen a child that would be prepared for 6 years to be his wife. So in the same manner, she would be having like wisdom from the women. At the end of these 9 years, the leader to be would be taken out to get a trial, like like a test. He would be put in a cave with 5 of the most beautiful women who would be naked, and they would try to seduce him, and he had to control all urges or signs of sexual desire. And if he passed the test, that meant that he was ready to be a leader. And once he passed the test, which it always happened really well, because they had been preparing for 9 years. So for a couple of hours doing this, they were really well prepared mentally, spiritually, and in their hearts and in their basic instincts. So they would come out, and then they would be prepared to go for the birth. So the whole city, or the village would come around the lagoon, and he would be covered in honey and wax, and then gold powder, and then taken in a raft to the middle of the lagoon, and with lots of golden artifacts, which were offerings basically for the lagoon, golden artifacts and gems. And the whole village would have offerings as well, all gold offerings. Well, it was a mixture of gold and copper, but it was what they used to offer, which also the mixture of gold and copper represented the feminine and masculine aspects in their crafts, that alloy of copper and gold. So when the village came in at the first light of dawn, the leader to be would go in the raft, and when the sun hit, he would shine like beautiful sun, anchoring that masculine seed from the sun. And then he would be submerged in the lagoon, which is the feminine aspect, so giving like the seed in order to create a new life, a new birth. So he would be birthed as the new leader. I mean, it was not a king, it was a leader called the Sipa in these in this area of Colombia. He would be called the Sipa or the cacique in other areas. And once he would be birthed, he would raise his crown and crown himself, and then he would come out of the lagoon, and his wife, to be the one that had been prepared for him, was waiting for him to be the new leader with him. And because they believed in the equality of masculine and feminine, each having their own role, which is exactly what we're trying to get to again here, with understanding what it is to have self-mastery in order to come to union as well. And this is what I think we're trying to understand from this symbolic ritual, and all the gold that is still in this lagoon. This has had many stories. The lagoon itself, which is like it represents the feminine, it's like a womb, has been blasted open because the Spanish, when they came, they wanted to take the gold out of greed, whereas the natives offered to the lagoon. They did not take, they offered. The Spanish wanted to take, and so there has been a lot of trauma in the feminine as well that is represented in this lagoon. And so basically, getting back to these histories of the ancient native people here, we're recuperating that knowledge and that wisdom to anchor it again within us. And I think that's why Dr. Harmony came here, even though we did not really know why she was coming here at first. It all started to click, like what this meant, and this gold that's in there. It was also called the Golden City, and she has been talking about the Golden City. She didn't even know.
Yes.
We were coming here, and I didn't even know either. I just learned all this history. I knew that this lagoon is also connected to 7 other lagoons that are sacred sites for the natives around this area.
And this is considered the navel.
The navel, which is called in their native language Tomsa, and it's called the navel, meaning it's really the center. They consider the center of the earth, which is very symbolic of what we're doing here. And this is a very important, it's an important grid point that we're trying also to get energy from, and also help heal and transmit some of the energy that is much needed for the future and for the anchoring of new earth. So that's basically what we're doing here, and we'll be going to other lagoons and other sites as we feel guided to. So over to you.
And I just want to make a couple of things, points that you had mentioned. The 7 years with the mother, the 7 years with the father. I have
9 years. Oh no, yeah, no.
it was 9 years after. So it's 7 years with the father,
So-
our mother first. 7 years with the father to create the balance,
Yeah, 7
and
and
then that created 14 years. And so in the studies and the things that I've been being shown through guidance in this divine masculine and feminine merger, that the 7s represent the balance, and you bring 2 7s together and it's 14. And in addition to that, if you've read my book, Twin Flame Codebreaker, I talk about the divine masculine being, the 6 represents that, with the being the generator, the divine generator of the energy, and that the divine feminine is the 9, and that in that is the divine electric that produces the energy and creates. And so what we learned out of this was that it's reversed and it's harmonized, and that we're coming to a full cycle based on what I've been shown over the last year, because now the divine masculine is coming in with this 9 years that we've been shown here of becoming into his own full balance and pulling it all together. And the divine feminine, he's doing that for 9 years while she's doing her waiting for 6 years. And that's showing that she's now the one that is anchoring the energy for him and helping him rise up into the elevation of his higher self. And so this story here that we found out today, for 4,000 years old, is something that we have been tracking now. I've been tracking it for quite a while in these same exact numbers, the same exact codes, including the fact of, if you participated in my 1111 portal activity, and some new information that I've been shown also is that as we go through this 4-step process of the ascension, we are starting to go through the rebirth aspect first, and then we start moving we come through the resurrection, then we go to the rapture. And I was shown that the rapture was the golden city, and that this all happens before the reunion. And I was shown this, and this is like a 4-step process that I've been working on around the 1111 portal, and I come here and it's a real story. Like, it's a real thing. And we're here, and we did an activation today. We anchored a lot of energy pulling into the grid lines. We brought in the diamond light codes that Tatiana had channeled in, and we have sent this energy portal, sending it out through the 7 lagoons that's around here, and then also filling the gap and helping heal and restore and harmonize the unconditional love vibration of the self, the planet, the solar system, our individual selves, and sending that out to the world, including all of you. And that's why today I wanted to, this is so sacred. This is so sacred. I mean, I've been in tears just so many times already. And I just wanted to share this with you. And so...
And not to mention that this lagoon, because it had been so... basically in the history of this lagoon, which was sacred. And there's a beautiful story of how one of the Spaniards seduced one of the native women to have her reveal the sacred site, and she did. So when the Spanish found out about this is like in the 1500s, and they started destroying literally the lagoon and the sacredness. Then eventually with time, this was open to everybody, and they just stopped caring because the gold apparently was not pure. So they stopped caring and trying to get the gold. So they kind of left it alone. But then everybody would come here and have their picnics and their things and take the flowers and leave trash. And when the government of Colombia decided that this should be restored, because it was a sacred site, they pulled out 10 tons of garbage from the lagoon. So for me, this represents that abuse also of the feminine, which of course has been recuperating for a couple of years already, since 2000.
Hi everyone, it's Dr. Harmony. I just wanted to let you know that the video that Tatiana and I had prepared for you had gotten cut off at the end based on a couple different factors. One, my camera had gotten shut down, and the other one, when we plugged in the microphone to her camera, it also got shut down. And so therefore, we weren't able to finish the story, but we're going back to a different lagoon, and we will finish the story there. We're about to head out for the day, but I wanted to get this video out, and I know a lot of people are waiting to hear the story about what I'm calling the resurrection, or I should say the restoration of Avalon, and what I've been saying and being shown to be heaven on earth restored. And so, and the return of Eden with twin flames. So anyway, I want to get this video out to you, but I wanted you to know why it cut off at the end. And I wanted to come to you and show you this beautiful background. This is where I'm staying in one of the rooms at Tatiana's house here that they've graciously opened up to allow me to come as we do this work and do this grid work. And so I know you could probably barely see me, but as you can see, such a beautiful background, beautiful country. This is about also, you know, facing fears. I teach people face fears, find freedom. Well, I have found freedom because there were so many people that once they found out where I was coming to Colombia and Bogota, you know, being fearful and afraid of something that, you know, me coming and, you know, you hear the stories of a third world country. And this is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. And so I didn't even question it because I knew I was being called to be here. So, and it's been such a beautiful experience. And I can't wait to share more with you. And there'll be more to come, and we will finish the story once we get to the other lagoon, okay? And today is also the full moon, a very powerful full moon, and so I wish you very much a happy moon releasing, I should say, with the full moon. But enjoy this, because this is a very big energetic portal, and it's a great time to release any deeper, darker fears, okay? Much love to you, many blessings. There'll be more to come. Namaste.